Hi guys and girls, Rose Burnett here, Mind, Body, Soul Balance Coach. And today we're going to be talking about, am I really in touch with spirit, connected to spirit? And this question comes up, right, when you want to believe, but your mind keeps stopping you, yeah? The things that you're saying to discount any signs and signals or messages that you're receiving from spirit. Why don't we talk about spirit? And before I start, the instigator of this little chat was one of my close girlfriends, Sue. So I promised her I was going to give her a high five and mention her here, right? Because this is something she does regularly, and we often chat about it. And she's very connected in terms of, I've done some work with her in terms of some Reiki energy healing and also with reading the tarot. And what I've seen of her soul light is that she's highly connected in terms of a divinity to spirit, yeah, absolutely, and particularly her spirit guides. But within her, she's somebody that's very rational. She's beautiful, right? And I'll never knock her. She's absolutely beautiful. And it might happen to you too, right? Is that you want to believe in certain things, or you do have a belief in it, but you doubt it. And your mind keeps giving you all these reasons why it can't be true. You might be somebody that is very rational. You might have a scientific, mathematic brain, right? It could be culture. It could be the peer pressure of family and friends that if you have a belief about your spirituality and if you actually expressed it, would you be ridiculed? Yeah. You might just ridicule yourself with self-doubt around your beliefs. Often it's your mind overtaking your heart space, yeah? Often it's your mind overtaking your soul light. And we can do that. The mind doesn't often shut off, right? It's always active. We can learn to work from our heart space rather than our rational brain. And in terms of connecting into your spirituality, that's exactly what you need to do. There is also that fine line between reading too much into things, right? From an illusionary standpoint. There can be, and I have seen it, right, even on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to discount anyone in that respect, but, you know, I do get some questions where I think, well, actually, what you've just asked is you're going into the position of trying to read too much into something when it's just a normal state of being, whether it's aspect of life in some aspect. There can be that delusional bit where you're going, I'm reading too much into it. I think there's more to something than there actually is. You still have to have your rational side brain, your sensible part of self to go, you know, to have, what am I trying to say to you, is to have that sense of there is definitely connections out there, right? But it can go to a whole different level if you're not careful in terms of delusions, right? There's always going to be that aspect of humanity out there, right, in terms of taking it too far. But in terms of your own spirituality and believing in messages and connections to spirit, your spirit guides, your angels, God, if you believe in God, right, from what I've seen, and I'll share this with you, right, and it was something that somebody said to me. There's a guy called Chris at my local crystal shop, right? He's totally amazing. He's somebody that's come into this lifetime. He's been here many lifetimes, right? But he gets people on their path. He just says a few things to you. He can literally read you, your soul light, where you've been, your past lives, just by looking at you. Yeah, read your whole aura, everything. He's a gift on this planet, right? Absolute gift. But he'll occasionally say things to you and it'll make you ponder. You go, okay. But he said something to me and it was so interesting because when you come to this journey, I will come back to if you know you're getting real signals, right? But what I want to explain to you is about spirit guides and about God. And often what happens when you have a spiritual awakening or you get more in touch with your spirituality is you have a few spirit guides that will come through to you. For me, it was like 3 or 4. Immediately there was one really strong spirit guide and I was doing a psychic development course, right? So we were meditating on bringing our spirit guides in and that's how you can do it. There's some guided meditations on YouTube that help you tap into your spirit guides, yeah. Some people won't see anything initially and that's okay. It might take a while, yeah. How do you know that you've got a true connection with your spirit guides? It's an interesting question. The more you work on raising your vibration, your levels of consciousness, higher states of consciousness from your higher chakras, you will absolutely connect with them. And for me, I had a guy come in, an older guy, and he came in instantly, and I could visualize every aspect of him, yeah. And there was also a couple of other spirits that came through that I could feel their energy. There was two, yeah, I could feel their energy, but I couldn't see them as well. And in the next couple of weeks, they came through, and it was two female spirit guides, yeah. But since then, in terms of spiritual awakening, right, is we can connect into the archangels. They can become a lot stronger in our spiritual connection. And Chris said to me, and you know, you can always talk and pray to God and Jesus, whatever your religion is. I'm not religious, right? I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And I've always had an understanding and a connection to that, but never been very religious, yeah. And he said, well, that's not all that's out there. And he kind of intimated about the divine collective consciousness. And I had seen them, right? And every time I think that you delve more into spirituality and your connection, the divine collective consciousness is hundreds of thousands of beings of light, soul lights, angels surrounding us on this planet. The more I've gone into, and I do a lot of energy healing work, right? So I tap into the deepest levels of the soul, but in terms of soul healing, but I also get to see people's soul light origin. And it's just opened it up massively for me in terms of an energy healer. I do a lot of crystal healing as well, right? In terms of what is out there and what I've seen, and I can only speak from my own experiences, and other people can probably have different experiences because we're all got different soul lights, right? Is that there's much more than just God there. It doesn't stop there, right? It just keeps going. You know, you look at space, and you know, there's planets, there's stars, but there's more than that, and it just keeps going. It's infinite, right? It does just keep going. A lot of our soul lights may have come from way out in the angelic realm, yeah. God is just part of that. There are so many different cultures and soul lights and soul tribes out there. Whereas your soul tribe, it's definitely out there, right? And how do you connect into it, and how do you know that you're getting messages straight from spirit that you're connecting in? And your mind is telling you, your rational mind is telling you can't be true, yeah, or you have a connection, you get a message through, you get a feeling through, you get an impression through, and you're discounting it a little bit later because I'm not really sure if that was real or not real, yeah. I do a lot of meditation in terms of working with clients. I can do it on crystals. I can do it if I'm going into an energy healing session. I'll go and do a walk in the morning, usually along the beach, sometimes in my favourite spot near an estuary through the bush. And part of that, I will ask about a certain person, certain questions that they've asked. Is there anything I need to know about their energy? Yeah. And I'll often get messages straight from spirit that goes to the core issue that somebody's working on and why they're having that issue. Yeah. Channeled messages that need to be relayed about that person's energy. It's their soul light, yeah. Those messages will come through. If it's somebody highly spiritual, it'll be bang, bang, bang. They'll just come straight through, yeah. The more you work on your energy and your spirituality and your connection the quicker messages will come into you. It's about trusting. So I can only share with you my own experiences in terms of connecting into divinity, is that it's something that reveals itself over time, right? It's often not something that's totally sudden. It's also a conscious choice to work at a higher level of vibration and consciousness, yeah? I know for me, I can remember walking along the beach, right? And I had at that point already connected into my spirit guides, divine collective consciousness, archangels. And I can remember just like, you feel your ears pinging or ringing or whooshing, and that's your clairaudience opening up, right? Recently, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? Ears are just ringing. God, it's so tapped in right now. Like, it's been happening a lot lately. If you ask a question, one of the easiest ways, right, if you want to know something that you could, if you already know the answer to something, Spirit's going to say you already know the answer to that. You're just asking for confirmation, right? You can do that too. Yeah, it'll come back with an immediate yes or no, or trust yourself. But if there's something you don't know and you want the answer to, the quicker that answer comes back to you, you're talking directly to Spirit, right? For me, it's instantaneous, often before I've even finished asking the question halfway through the sentence, because your mind's already thought of it, right? Your mind's already put it out there. Spirit's talking straight back to you. They already know what your answer, asking, because not that you say it out verbally, but in your mind you're going, okay, I've got this question. You've already put that imprint in here, yeah, and you've already sent it out, so they're going to answer it, yeah. Whether it's looking for stuff you've lost in the house, whether it's an important question that's bothering you about someone in your life or a circumstance in your life, because often what happens is it's tied into our gut. Our gut instincts, our intuition. There might be something our intuition is telling us, and everything else around us is going, no, it's just you, right? Our gut intuition or our gut instincts usually bang spot on, but we can ignore them a lot, right? When you tap into your spirit guides, they can see all, know all, right? They also know that person, if it's a person or situation, they also can see that person and that situation, right? So they see both sides of it. When you put a question out to the universe and it comes straight back to you, it's about trusting in it, believing in it. You can keep seeing signs and signals. Often it will be when you know that you're talking directly to spirit. How do you know? If you've got an animal spirit guide, they'll often show up when you're talking directly to spirit. For me, it's the eagle. If I'm ever in a deeply challenging state, I'm going, like, particularly if you're somebody that wants to manifest something, you go like, when now? You get angry about manifesting too. Spirit will often give you a sign and signal that they're there with you right at that moment. Yeah, for me, an eagle will just appear out of nowhere. I'll go, rightio, okay, thank you. As much as it joyfully lights me up, because it does, right? An eagle will just show up at that specific moment. It could be a butterfly, it could be something flying across your path, it could be the wind picking up. For me, often, if I'm talking directly to spirit, the wind will just suddenly start swirling around, rising. Sun will come out where it was behind a cloud and focus straight on me. That's spirit telling you that they're there. Trust it, yeah? There's all sorts of things. You might have a specific spirit guide in terms of an animal that shows up for you, yeah? It can be all sorts of things. It's also, yeah, and you know, your mind can discount things, and you might get, like, you can watch a message, even if, like, if you're on here watching tarot messages and you go, is that for me? Like, it feels like that message is being spoken directly to me. You can discount that it's coming to you for sure. You block your flow, but you can discount it. If it totally resonates with you, it's for you. Yeah, trust it. Love to hear your thoughts, your feedback on how you know when spirit's talking to you. I know for myself, the more I tap into my spirituality, my higher levels of consciousness, my divinity, so much more opens up for you. It's such a beautiful, beautiful experience. It's a beautiful way to live in terms, because you often live from a place of high vibration, of inner peace and balance. Not all the time, got to constantly work at it. Yeah, challenges are always going to throw themselves at us. When you've got spirit there that you can connect into, receive messages of support, guidance, it's always going to be tapped and tuned into your own energy of what you're reflecting out to the universe, yeah, in terms of the guidance that comes back to you. Think about that, ponder it. All right, much love, much light. Namaste.